Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Brony Bookclub. As always, I have my co-host on, Sam.
Hey there.
And this week, instead of, as usual, well, he is a fanfic author, but that's not why he's here. We have Befallen Tragedy, who hosts his own fanfiction podcast. Say hi.
Hello, I am the immortal, the mighty Befallen Tragedy from Fanatic Fiction.
Why don't you tell us more about your podcast?
Well, my podcast started, I think, somewhere around October last year, and I came up with the idea with some of my friends that I met in a Celestia Radio chat room. And originally it was just going to be me, my friend Delta, and my friend Lightning, but over the months it's grown, and we now have a revolving cast of about 7-8 people that we switch in every week when we review stories. Sadly, lately we haven't been uploading any videos because the person that uploads and edits the videos has been lazy. So.
Oh.
That happens.
I may do that on occasion, but that isn't the point. We're not talking about me. Anyway. So what do you do on your show? How is it different from ours?
Well, on your show, you like to talk to the authors of the stories you're reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, on ours, we don't. We just give solid opinions. We do a little review of the story, in which, we basically go over what happened in the story, in case, I don't know, maybe you don't want to read it or something. We even give a disclaimer that's like, at the beginning we say, if you don't want any spoilers, go read it, come back, and watch this later. Unless you just want to see the review, then... And what's different, I think, is our show is actually more offensive than yours, most likely.
I don't know. I offend quite a few people.
And I think we probably have a lot more cussing than you, and... I don't know.
Yeah, not too much on this one.
Yeah, not too much. It's usually just me. But, I'd also say a bigger difference is, like, you go into, like, full-on reviews. We usually we'll kind of review the main thing we're talking about, but even then we more go about... we talk more on generalities than we actually talk about reviewing it.
Oh, we go full tilt review. We even give scores at the end of it, and I'm usually the one giving the lowest score because that's who I am.
I might be on your show sometime. That sounds like it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. It is, as long as you don't mind me yelling at people and AR getting people off track. Yeah.
Oh, I can out-yell you. I'm basically that Doctor Who Perry.
I'll look forward to hearing that contest.
Okay, then. Anyway, let's move on a little bit. Let's have a shortish interview with you. So, this is going to be a wild guess, but I'm guessing your favorite tag, from your name, Befallen Tragedy, is your favorite tag comedy?
No, actually, it's romance.
Oh, yeah.
I am so serious here. It is. I love me my romance. That's all I usually write.
That's cool.
Romance is good.
Yeah.
But though I do like to focus, I do like to focus more on. I do focus more on tragedies, but there's never a tag in mind because I like to think more about like what a tragedy is than actually writing about it. It's more philosophical for me than it is just a plain. I don't know how to explain it.
That's a good approach.
Alrighty then. What's your least favorite tag then?
Slice of life, because it's not a tag or a genre. It's bullshit.
I don't know if I agree. Slice of life is a genre in many different mediums.
Not in my book.
So, I don't know. Can you explain that? That's
an interesting claim.
There's something about slice of life where I started out as a fan fiction writer on fanfiction.net. And I think the tag that better suits slice of life is actually drama. That was the thing they had on fanfiction.net that I always used in all my stories, because all my stories are drama. That's what they are, and I can't help it. And I think I switched over to fanfiction.net almost a year ago, coming up on a year. So I started writing pony fanfiction almost a year ago now. And I just can't. Slice of life, it makes no sense to me. I mean, people have explained it to me, but it still doesn't make sense. I don't count it as a real genre or a tag.
It's weird because slice of life isn't all drama. In fact, I'd say only maybe a quarter to half of the slice of life fics, at least in this fandom that I've read, are drama. A lot of them are comedy. A lot of them are romance.
So you're talking about one of Roy's favorite tags right now, so be prepared.
Yeah, not just in not one of my favorite tags. Like it's a bigger thing in anime than it is in other Western stuff, even though that does show up then. A lot of sitcoms are effectively slice of life.
Yes,
but yeah, like Azumanga Daioh, Bamboo Blade, Lucky Star. All these animes are slice of life. They aren't about an epic journey. They aren't about all those things. It's just what the hell happens to people in their everyday lives.
Well, then slice of life,
and not in a dramatic way, but in a what happened.
But then slice of life is such a broad thing. It can be, you can just have comedy, or you can have, sad, but it can still take place in somebody's life, and then you can have, more major tags. Slice of life is just one of those minor things that I just can't, it makes no sense to me. Why is it even a big tag?
Well, I think it's a big tag, especially in this fandom, because the episodes themselves seem to fall into adventure or slice of life. You either have, we go take down a monster, or they deal with day-to-day stuff in town. They deal with Pinkie Pie's problems or the Applejack problems. That's a slice-of-life episode. So because that's the kind of show we are based on, we kind of want to divide things. Is this a more adventure kind of story you're making, or is it more of a slice of life? Are you dealing with their personal problems, or are you more dealing with their giant slay the monster problems?
Well, see, then you can always just substitute the slice of life tag with something else, something greater, something that isn't so broad.
I don't know. I can see where you're coming from, but I think it has become enough of a genre on its own that I understand why it has its own tag, because you can tell more from it in combination with other tags. Like, if I saw an adventure comedy, I'd be like, I wonder what the hell that's going to be. But if I see slice of life comedy, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I know what's coming. Okay, that was a more heated discussion than we usually get on this show, but then you warned me, so I can't be too mad about it. Most of our other questions that we usually have aren't really appropriate for this today, but I'll ask you a different one instead. What is your favorite story you ever reviewed on your own show?
Oh, geez. The highest... I have to look back at my own episodes to figure out what the hell we reviewed. Hold on. I know one of the highest rated reviews I've ever given a story was Cupcakes on the show.
What?
Sam? Oh,
really?
We had this conversation when we were talking privately. Yeah, he actually he likes cupcakes.
I don't understand you.
A lot of people don't.
Fair enough.
Look at the episodes. Okay, I know I gave Cupcakes a good one. I didn't give Past Sins a good review. I
haven't even read Past Sins. Everyone I know tells me not to read it.
I haven't read it. It seems very polarizing from what I've heard.
It is. On Across the Narrow was good. Final Dreams of Philly, I didn't fucking finish that story. Burst out crying. Veil of Thoughts, no. Experiments of Twilight Sparkle, that's another one I gave a good high score to, but it's Cupcakes-esque, so, I mean... Moving on. Oh, Anthropology. I'm sorry, Anthropology. I gave that a 9.5, I think.
High five, bro!
Yep, good judgment there.
I know.
That's like if you were to ask me, like, okay, any fic can be turned into an animated movie. And I know Say would answer that with, oh, well, Fallen Equestria immediately. And well, I would love to see a Fallen Equestria animated film.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think I'd have to go to Anthropology because I would love to see that. I don't think I've had a fic film with enough of a sense of wonder a lot of the time as that fic did, and I really love that one.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about what the stories reviewed on my show, I mean, if you're talking about the released episodes, then it has to be Anthropology. If you're talking about the unreleased episodes, I have to be a little narcissistic and say, for my birthday, the other guys reviewed one of my stories, and so I have to say that's my favorite.
Well, there you go. Easy answer.
Okay. That deserved a slow clap. Good thing my slow clap algorithm is still working. Okay. Let's move on. We have one question this week from someone who has not written in a while. Can you guess who it is?
Oh, boy. I look forward to this.
Who is it? Come on, guess.
I'm guessing Cody Fett?
Yay!
Yeah!
Yes!
Long time no read. Well, here, Roy reads it. Whatever, it's been a while, dude. Yeah.
But it's super long, too.
What? Really?
I know, really.
Wow. I'm shocked.
Kevin!
Stars shine.
They were mutating. Anyways, what's the question?
So, I haven't been able to catch up on the last few episodes until now. Details forthcoming. It'll be cool. Also, he's Free Space, Gears of War, Wing Commander, Independence War, and War Thunder, which is pretty cool. Apparently that's what he spent his time doing instead of listening to our show.
Wait, oh, okay.
But I'm sending you this message now in regards to your Applejack episode. Firstly, a wreck, which is so far the only Applejack story I've read all the way through. Maybe that will change after this episode. Perhaps. It's called A Hairy Problem, in which Applejack becomes a monster. There are tons of references that get dropped, and jokes and drama are had. Link in the description. As for Applejack herself, well, on the one hand, she's a great role model. Honest, hardworking, family-oriented, business owner, honorable, charitable, heroic. On the other hand, where the frack does all her money go? Seriously, she seemingly earns the equivalent of millions of dollars every year, has a monopoly on the local apple supply, produces several products that all have that must have cash cow items, and yet despite all of that, she somehow manages to be constantly a hair's breadth away from bankruptcy all the time.
Probably because they need to rebuild their barn like 5 times in the series so far.
Yeah, that could be a big money thing.
Is the Apple family prey to loan sharks? Do they have a gambling or drug problem? Are the tax and regulations of the question draconian? Inquiring minds want to know. Anywho, take care on the until next time, and good luck hunting. 6 Semper Tyrannis, carry on. Thank you, Cody Fett. That's one of the best emails you've sent in a while.
Wait, did you read all of it?
Yeah.
That's not as long as the other ones. So that's
no.
Cool.
I told you it was short. So, since that can be a good segue, this week we're going to be talking about Applejack. First of 6. So, yeah, I think the constant joke of Applejack is that up until Season 3, and even then kind of in Season 3, she's the least paid attention to of the main 6. She's the one who everyone's like, meh. Like, she has her fans. And even the people who don't list her among her favorite ponies generally like her. There isn't much hate for Applejack. But she doesn't inspire the kind of love and loyalty as other ponies do. Why is this?
Honestly, for me, it was always just kind of because she was the everyman of the group, I guess. I mean, like, each of them has something kind of special and unique about them, you know? Like, you know, Fluttershy's the ridiculously cute one, Rainbow Dash is the really athletic one, and, you know, even the other Earth pony, you know, Pinkie Pie is just kind of insane and has ridiculous reality-bending powers, but Applejack is just kind of normal. I mean, that's not really reason to hate her or anything, it just made her stand out a bit less to me. It took me a while, really, to kind of get used to her simple charm, I guess might be the term.
See, I always thought it was more that with the other ponies, all of them either fell into, I really relate to this character, or I would like to be more like that character. Like Rainbow Dash. That's why Rainbow Dash is so many fans. It isn't because they like, oh yeah, I'm like her. They're more like, I'd like to be that confident. I'd like to have some of her qualities.
Yeah.
I respect her for that. With Applejack, it's kind of that weird mix of them, where you know people like Applejack, but a lot of people who have something come with Applejack generally aren't people who watch My Little Pony. They generally nerds do not have the emphasis on work ethic and on honesty. Like, her ethics that she works so hard on aren't things that, as nerds, are as important as what the other characters are about, or as their growth and struggles.
We're lying, unethical bastards.
Yes! Maybe.
Sure.
Damn it. I've been found out. Alright, so... But there's that. And I also just think she hasn't had as many meaty episodes as anyone else. I think if you ask me if Applejack's episodes, which ones are really good, I could pretty much I could only point to Over a Barrel. Not Over a Barrel. The Last Roundup. The Last Roundup is really good.
I do love that episode.
But even then, most of the focus of the episode isn't really, like, it's on Applejack, but she isn't on screen. She's only in about half of the episode.
Plus, Derpy kind of stole that one from her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like everyone else kind of steals Applejack's show. She doesn't have as many great, fantastic episodes, which isn't her fault, you know. Actually, I'm gonna completely admit, I thought I had just come up with this on my own. I looked back. This idea is from an early episode of The Brony Show, so I'm giving total credit to them for this, but I think still it's a fantastic idea. They brought up what would be really good for a Applejack episode, which would really solidify her character, is if there was an episode where the main 6 were divided on an issue. Something came up that split them down the middle, where they were forming teams and they were making a big issue out of it, and Applejack was the one who was the peacekeeper, the diplomat, trying to find a compromise and making them all feel like idiots because of how they were acting. And I thought that would be a great episode, but no.
Well, here's the thing about Applejack. She gets to be the level-headed one of the group. That's why I think she was such a great foil for Pinkie Pie in the Hearthwarming Eve episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, but it's not.
What the hell?
What?
It was just. Oh. Okay.
Looks like our guest has disconnected temporarily.
Okay, editing time. This will be cut out.
No. No, see, I said that for the benefit of the audience, and now you're just cutting it out. I don't...
Oh, no, I will cut that out. So, let me think here. Where are we going? But yeah, it generally seems to be that we all can admire Applejack, but we can't... It's harder to relate to her, and it's hard to be very gung-ho about wanting to be more like her. Like, the way I always described it personally was, Applejack is my family. Like, my entire family, I have a family of Applejacks. They're all hardworking, very strong work ethic, very strong on honesty, very rural people. And that's not who I am. And I love my family. And I think Applejack's awesome. But that's not who I am.
No.
Really.
I think I'd agree with that. Just that there's, each of them kind of has something specific to relate to. And Applejack does too. It's just not something that a lot of us connect with. The honesty, certainly, but her lifestyle and stuff like that is definitely a minority nerd thing.
Though me and you do have quite a few friends who do fit into that.
Well, yeah, but my sister still kind of is personally ashamed of the fact that I watch the show.
Yeah.
So...
Well, what's also funny, and I'm just thinking about this, and this is more of a fan fiction thing, and it was pretty much never on the show, it seems to me whenever people are writing her in fics, and I know why they do it, but whenever they need a character to be stubborn or prejudiced or conservative, basically, they use Applejack.
Do you want to be my...
I must admit that
What?
seems like kind of unfair projection to me.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of Southern stereotypes and stuff in America, but to put those onto a character from a completely different universe seems a bit off.
Okay, I can speak to this issue actually because I am writing a few stories actually that are Pinkie Applejack shipping. That's an awesome ship. Anyways, and
that's good shit.
I like to have Applejack's family be a little more conservative with their values, and it's I know you say it's an unfair stereotype, but I mean I'm not trying to be mean with it. It's just that's how people are. Because I live in rural Missouri, and I know a lot of people that are very conservative with their values, and sometimes even match the Apple family. And the thing is, it's not really mean. It's just a generalization because they're more stuck in their old ways. They're more archaic than other families. That still holds true. It's not trying to be mean. It's just trying to be realistic.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not suggesting it's mean to the people that are being stereotyped so much as just that that is a stereotype in our world, in our country, in our culture, but in Equestria, not necessarily, is all I'm saying. It just that putting her into that category and associating her with that stereotype doesn't necessarily make sense in the context of the show. Nothing wrong with using that, but the fact that it's as common as it is just seems a little strange to me.
Well, that's the beauty with fan fictions is basically you can take and the MOP itself is basically they're horses, yes, but they're more human than anything. And so you can take stereotypes, you can take prejudices, and you still put them on there, even though people say this is such a harmonious world, and, well, face it, we know it's not.
Yeah.
Because no world can exist in pure harmony.
Nope. Hi, Discord. But yeah, what I was going to say was just, I think it's an interesting trend. My favorite time, I don't remember what fic it was, but it seemed like it was going to go that route, and then I was just like, what? No, I'm okay with that. And they're like, but you're all rural and southern, and she's just like... And I'm a kind, tolerant person. What the hell? I can't believe you'd think that about me. What, just because I'm Southern? And I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Well, here's the thing. I found this out with fanfics. Nobody who actually makes it so Applejack is the one being, like, prejudiced. They actually make it so it's her family, like Granny Smith or Big Mac that's doing it.
Really? I think I've read a few where she herself was.
I rarely find those. Mostly this time it's Granny Smith, which I can see,
Okay.
And then he disappeared, never to be seen again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my phone is not nearby. I can't use that.
Oh, no.
I wish it was like a real radio show, so like a soundboard that I could just like have the pony sound effects whenever I wanted.
Well, there is post-editing, like if you wanted to put the Metal Gear Solid sound right after I say it, you could totally do that. Oh, come on.
That means I'd have to go online and find it and download it and keep. I'm keeping this whole conversation.
I'll email it to you.
Anyways, I feel like that it's okay to have Granny Smith be more, old-fashioned because she's so old, and she can still be stuck in her ways. And Big Mac, he doesn't talk much, so his personality is still up for grabs. But
I love Big Mac though.
He's great.
All right, so we talked a bit about Applejack, MY. Actually, let's see. I already get tired of talking about this. What do you think the show could do in the future to make Applejack have more limelight in the show?
Well,
they tried giving her more episodes in season 3. That didn't bump.
I think Apple Family Reunion. I love that episode, and I think it really fits her character.
I think that's a really good episode. I just think it kind of gets outshined by its neighbors in the season.
Well, I get a lot of hate for this, but I loved Spike at Your Service, which is another good Applejack episode.
I actually really like that one too.
Yeah.
I like aspects of that episode. I'm not a huge fan of the entire thing.
But Pinkie's mustache.
Yes, Pinkie's mustache was good. Actually, what I liked about that episode was I liked that in a weird way it was kind of existentialist. In that, like, Spike's idea that he just wrote his own rules and lives by them. I thought that was awesome and a fun character trait for Spike. But, Apple Family Reunion was a good episode, but I'm saying, like, it isn't like everyone saw Apple Family Reunion was like, yeah, Applejack. Everyone was like, wow, that was a good episode.
Nice. A racist barn. Come on, you can't.
Oh, that was. God damn it. Which side I really like that song?
I know, same here.
Sam doesn't, though.
It was good for what it was. It was just kind of a country western sound and screw country music. Anyway.
That wasn't country. That was square dancing. Excuse you. There's a difference.
But they are often related. I've been forced to do square dancing before. It was a horrific experience.
He has flashbacks occasionally. No.
That's pretty bad.
All right. A little bit. We're going to talk about I Ain't Got No Accent, who the author could not be on this week because they don't respond to my frickin' private messages, so they're lost.
Oh.
Not at all sad about that.
Oh. Poor Roy.
Anyway,
his confidence ran him off.
Accent. So, okay, I'm going to be honest. If we're talking about this and you hear me go, what? I actually haven't read this one.
Oh, my God.
In a while. I read it months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. It's been a long time.
Okay, well, that's relatively forgivable. I thought you were saying you hadn't read it.
No, of course I freaking read it.
Dude, you told me about this a week ago, and I read it. Come on.
No, I've read I Ain't Got No Accent. It's just been a long. It's I remember things. So, but I haven't heard of this one, which is weird because it's one of the big fix.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pretty big. It's a big deal. So, I Ain't Got No Accent is Rarity finds out that Applejack used to live in Manhattan for a while and learned how to do the voice, and decides to use her for an upcoming conference to get a little gain for both of them, financially speaking. And so she has to pretend that she's all upper crust and stuff for a convention, and it's pretty freaking funny. That's the best way. I Ain't Got No Accent is pretty goddamn hilarious. And it's one of those great fics that you can read and go, I can totally imagine this as an episode. This could be animated, and it would not feel very different.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite things about it, is I love those fics where I feel like I just read an episode, basically.
Well, Connor Cogworth, he also wrote On Across an Arrow, which, is another great story. And I think deserves a lot of credit for being almost episode-like.
That's cool. I'll have to read that one.
I'm going to probably put in the show notes because you mentioned it. So it's going to be one we have to end up talking about. So
and if you feel like you're too busy to actually read it, but you still want to listen to it, my buddy Lightning 2.0 over on his channel, Indubitably Ponyfied, is doing a voiced reading of it, and they're almost done with it.
Oh, nice.
So you're just going to make the humor work. This is what you're saying. Is I'm not the
she's
gonna throw out names of fics and
I'll
projects.
shoot you.
I have to put them all in the goddamn description.
I'll shoot you the links. Don't worry. I'm diligent.
Okay, that makes it a little bit better. Yeah, I remember reading this. I thought that was it was a really funny fic. The ending was good. It had a good timing to the humor. It had a good twists. Besides that, honestly, I chose this one. And you're gonna find out every single fic I'm talking about this week I defined simply because I realized I haven't read that many fics that involve Applejack in heavy amounts. well, except for like ones where it's like she's a member of the main cast, because it's like, well, yeah, I mean, I could talk about what's the name of the Rainbow? A World Without Rainbows.
You forgot the name of A World Without Rainbows?
Shut up!
How could you do that?
I know, I'm terrible. So, yeah, with that one, it's, she's a main character, but there are a lot of main characters. There's like 20 main characters in that story.
Yeah.
So it gets kind of confusing, because there's two Applejacks, and they're both...
And that's what I was finding when I was looking around. You told me this would be an Applejack episode, so of course I go on FimFiction, filter for Applejack fics, and the vast majority of them are main 6 fics that, of course, have Applejack in them. It took me a while to garner up a few Applejack fics. And I mean, apologies. It's either that or shipping with some of the other main 6.
Which you ain't gonna read.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of inter-main 6 shipping, personally, but anyway, yeah, point being, there's not too much, there's just not much Applejack stuff out there. And, I mean, I guess we already talked about the reasons why that might be, but...
Sam, it's okay to be a heathen. We're not gonna judge you for it.
What? No.
Except just a little bit, a little judging.
That's
a lot.
I still read the fan fictions.
I know. Well, it's kind of... Well, okay, Chris, why don't you talk a little bit more about it? I don't know how you would describe I Ain't Got No Accent. Besides...
I mean, I like the story. I read almost all of it. I couldn't get to the last paragraph in time because I was busy with other stuff. And
I will tell you, the ending is a big joke. It's pretty funny.
Okay, anyways, but I gotta admit they did intersplice the humor well, which is very surprising for this community, because for some reason this community finds it really hard to do good comedy, good solid comedy. I mean, there's a lot of like dark comedy, but I mean, to find a really lighthearted comedy like this one is actually a very rare feat to behold. But I'm so glad they actually pulled it off, and I think it was interesting when they took elements from the show, which is how Applejack lived in Manhattan and how she did use the accent once in the show, and how she still knows it, and they took it and ran with it and said, well, this is a great idea. We can have Rarity use her for the, what was it? It's like the agricultural.
Yeah, it was a farmer convention.
Yeah, it was a farm. Yeah, and I mean, I thought that was a great idea. It's a great concept, and Connor Cosworth, he's a great writer. He carried it out well, and he's so good with the characters. He's so good with characterization. He always nails the main 6 perfectly. And just because I'm so used to doing this, if I had to give it a score, I would give it a solid 7.5 for being good, but not being like overly memorable or great.
Yeah, I actually would have. That's pretty close. I'd say 7 to 8.
So that garners my BT seal of approval.
Yeah. I need a seal.
Oh boy.
Sam, make me a seal now.
I suck at making seals. We have artist friends. Ask them. I can't draw with crap. It'll be like a stick figure of you with a thumbs up. It'll also be a little stick.
Oh, that's depressing. All right, time to talk about updates. Oh my. It's been 3 weeks, you guys. Some major shit has happened. I hope you guys are ready. First of all, got a couple updates from Only Human by Smoking Gun, which, if you haven't heard on previous episodes, which you should have, because you should have listened to them, Only Human is a fic where Lyra Heartstrings, just out of college, tries to make her own cartoon. Only Human. And everyone thinks she's goddamn insane. But she's trying. And it's a really funny one. I really like these new chapters. It's getting really tense. And I'm really liking the new OCs. And Lyra's plight is getting really, what's the word? She's very much more sympathetic now. You're just like, oh shit, she has no idea. Like, I've gone through what she's going through, where you're just like, you ask for constructive criticism, and they're like, you're gonna have to take all of this out. Like, you have to revise almost everything in the script. She's like, but But I worked so hard! You shut the fuck up! That's basically what happens, and it's amazing. Third Time's a Charm by Raised Rainbow. That's the Rara, what would you call it? Rara Dash?
Yeah.
Is that the...
I think that's
Yeah.
the term.
Yeah, that is.
Rara Dash. Just ended. Very good ending. I'm liking it, and I think he's going to make a sequel, and I would like that. I would like more of that. That's the first time I've ever seen that ship done. Pagliacci by They Call Me Jub. That's the Pinkie is the Joker fic. It was that was a really odd chapter. I'm not going to say why, because spoilers, but what the fuck. But I do want more of this to be written. This is a really, really good story. This chapter just had me going, what the hell. Dresden Phillies by Psychic Scuba Diver updated. Woo!
Yay.
Only comment on it is more. I hunger.
Oh boy.
About that. And last two are big ones. First off, My Little Changeling by Nia Ruzu has updated several times, and it is done.
Oh. I need to catch up on that.
Done and over with. There is a third story in the series going to be coming out, for those of you who don't. I can't really talk about it too much, because if you start synopsizing it, it's like, well, you should have read the original fic, thrown abroad. But it ended incredibly satisfyingly. I really want to see where he's going with this. It went in a completely different direction I thought it would. Nia Ruzu, you are a cool guy. I like your story. And finally, The Prince of Ponyville has ended by Cavande. However, not in the way you'd expect. Now, about a couple months ago, he set April 15th, I believe, as a date. If I haven't finished the chapter by then, I'm going to post what I have and then a synopsis of what everything else was going to be. And that's what ended up happening. So up to...
That just seems... Really? So we don't actually get the ending written out?
No.
That seems kind of anticlimactic and disappointing.
That's a cop-out. That is such a cop-out.
I actually really respect him. The thing is, he's been working on this chapter for about 6 months now, and it's just not writing. It's not. He's been stressing over it heavily. He has other projects he wants to work on, but always thing is, well, the Prince of Ponyville is really popular. I should work on that.
Then put it.
He goes to actually work on it. He can't get anything out.
Well, then put it on hiatus. Don't just give it a bullshit ending. Put it on hiatus.
It's not a bullshit ending, really. I mean, basically, reading it, I was satisfied. It was a satisfying conclusion. For the long trilogy. I don't think there's any... Looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I'd rather it ended there than him... Because really, as his friend Sona's talked about it, he probably wouldn't have finished it if he hadn't have done this at all. We would never have found out what happened. It would have just been in hiatus forever. And I'd rather we get a synopsis of what happened, and it's a very detailed synopsis. I'm glad we got that than nothing.
Here, let the seasoned fanfic guru update some stuff for you, huh?
The what?
Let me update some stuff for you, because I got some good stories that you should read. Okay,
really quickly though, another thing about that chapter though, early on, Sam?
What?
Two random soldiers, they're spying on them, and one of the soldiers goes, hey, you ever wonder why we're here?
Yes! Ooh.
And they have the full it's different enough, but it was awesome.
That's wonderful.
That's so much.
I love it.
Okay.
I was like, referencing!
Respect regained.
Yep. Alrighty then, so, Fanfic Guru, what do you have?
Alright, so, The Serenade of Silver Bells by Your Antagonist recently completed. I think he posted 3 chapters in a day. It was insane. And if you don't know, the story is, now, stay with me here.
Oh boy.
It's a Sweetie Belle Silver Spoon, I guess, shipfic technically, but not. It's more of a coming-of-age story, and it's really good, and, I mean, you get to see Diamond Tiara get her comeuppance. So, I mean, it's really worth it, but it's a really sweet, touching story, and I think a lot of people should read it. It's super good. And then, of course, now, I have been talking about this story forever because I absolutely love it. The Unexpected Love Life of Dusk Shine by Mimosaurus. This story is one of the funniest things I have ever read, and it continues to surprise and amaze me.
What is it about, sir?
It's basically Twilight Sparkle is a Twilight Sparkle. It's Dusk Shine. It's, the male counterpart to Twilight Sparkle. But everybody else is still the same. And basically, all the rest of the main chicks are in love with him, but it parodies the season 1 episodes. He's going through them all, And he's given each of the main six like an interesting like personality or quirk to it. And I think if you do read the story, you will find that the most interesting character, the character you will love no matter what, will be Pinkie for a lot of reasons.
Ooh.
And right now he's doing he's on the episode Pinkie Keen, which is with the Pinkie sense.
Yeah, I know Pinkie Keen.
But he mixed it with Inception in the title for the chapters are called Pinkieception, and it's hilarious. It's so worth it.
I hope I like it more than I like the actual episode.
All right, now the Twisted Pony by Croesus recently updated. Now this story only had one chapter posted, and the chapter was so great, and I wanted more. And they finally updated after almost 2 months of nothing. And the story is that Spike goes down into the catacombs beneath Kino and finds who else but Chrysalis down there. This is before the season 2 finale, so he doesn't know who she is. And it's all about Chrysalis and Spike kind of like getting along together, and it's I can't do justice with an explanation. It's just so great.
Okay.
And that's about it for me.
That's about it. Mm-hmm. Sam, I'm gonna take a wild guess.
Oh man, so many updates. You had no. Of course, I haven't. I have updates. I was looking through again to double check as you were going through yours. Has anything that I read updated? And I'm really bad at choosing ongoing fics, apparently, because it seems like most of them just stop.
Here's a hint. If you want regular updates, why don't you get caught up on the Dresden Phillies False Masks, you son of a bitch.
If I remember correctly, you had said that there was a specific book in the series that I should read before I got to False Masks, and I don't believe I'm there yet.
Damn it, you're not.
One more. I forgot one.
Go to hell!
I forgot one.
Okay.
Unforeseen Consequences by Chokovich.
That sounds familiar to me.
This story is so interesting and great. It takes place after the season 3 finales. It's basically the consequences of... Here, I'll read the description because I can. Twilight fixed her friend's Kino dilemma, became a princess, and everything went back to normal. Well, not almost everything. A few months afterwards, some of the side effects from the spell started to appear, ranging from short-term memory loss to odd quirks, and Pinkie was about to get hit with one heck of a doozy. Basically, it deals with what the hell happened in that alternate reality that was created and how it's affecting the new reality now.
I have to read this.
It's taken such a great, awesome turn, and this story's just amazing.
See, when I hear like an unforeseen consequence to a season finale, my mind immediately goes. Some people have wrote about it in the Avatar fandom of the unforeseen consequences to season 1's finale, the inferred Endor Holocaust that happens, where it's simply like, so what happened to all those Fire Nation soldiers? Did they just all die?
Probably.
Yeah, screw those guys.
Yeah, screw someone for serving their country.
Fire Nation, evil. Well, okay, no, I'm sorry.
They killed Airbender.
Yeah.
Oh yes, their grandfathers killed Airbender.
Okay, point taken.
Into the father.
Thankfully, the show itself doesn't go quite that black and white. So, have I mentioned to all you listeners? Sorry, I know we have. Just a random note since it got brought up. If any of you listeners haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender already, fix up your life and do it. What was that?
I said you're a terrible human being if you haven't watched that show yet.
Exactly.
Legend of Korra, I can forgive you. Don't worry about that. But the Last Airbender.
Fight Bruin.
Though do watch Korra afterwards.
No, don't. But
only afterwards.
Anyways, onwards.
Let's avoid this fight. Let's avoid this fight completely by moving on.
Yes.
So I'm gonna recommend. I'm uncharacteristically few with fics. I only have 2 to recommend that are related to the show's subject. One is called Apple's Blossom by English Witch. It's a slice of life fic. It's one shot. Basically, it's about half and half about Applejack and Apple Bloom, but Applejack has a lot of meaty parts in it. She has a lot of good scenes. But yeah, basically it's Apple Bloom, one of Apple Bloom's things where she's trying to get her cutie mark. And it can get kind of depressing, but it it really shines through in its heartwarmingness, and I think Sam would love it.
What's this name again?
Apple's Bloom.
Okay.
Oh, Apple's Blossom. Sorry, Apple's Blossom. And then the other one is more of a comedy thing, and another one shot that was just awesome. Applejack's Tax Relief Plan.
What?
So, Applejack gets a note from what is the equestrian equivalent of the IRS, and they owe quite a bit of money in back taxes.
Of course.
So she has just like a week to get the money ready. And then she gets the best idea. He'll have to use the farm's largest asset, and no, it's not the apple trees. It's Big Macintosh.
Huh.
What does that mean? Well, she notices that everyone really likes staring at her brother. And she finds a way to make money. It is not in the way you're thinking.
Prostitution.
It's more like no, it's not prostitution. It's more of, hey, he's gonna go plow that field. Your booth so you can watch him do it if you pay us.
Nothing wrong with that. It's the world's oldest profession, after all.
It's hilarious. It is a very much a comedic slice of life, and it's bloody hilarious.
Oh,
so yeah, people are paying to watch him plow a field. So yeah, prostitution basically.
Wow.
I hope you're ashamed of that joke.
No, I am never ashamed of any of my jokes. Bite your tongue.
Fluttershy would send you to Pony Hell for that.
Probably.
She's history's greatest monster. I don't care.
Oh, yes, that fic. I love that description.
Oh, boy.
Applejack, Fluttershy kicks a pony. A puppy. Therefore, she is the greatest monster in the world.
That's history's greatest monster. She is.
Says it.
Oh, wow.
Okie dokie Loki. So, Sam, what fics did you read?
Okay, I read 4 of them. Well, okay, I still haven't finished one of them. But yeah, no, that's more than normal. That's great.
That's more than me!
Yeah!
What's wrong with my
That's
life?
because I'm awesome, and you're not anymore. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So it's just me ever trying to assert my dominance in the fan fiction world. Anyway, so there's one that I read. I'll start with the one that actually has the least Applejack of these, because it's about Applejack, Rarity, and Fluttershy, and kind of more about Rarity and Fluttershy. It's called Mud, Sweat, and Tears. Basically, Rarity is part of a charity organization, and they're trying to figure out a fundraiser because the one that they were always doing has just gotten old. And then, so she and Fluttershy are trying to figure this out, and Applejack comes up with an idea. Rarity and Fluttershy, the two most shy and just not like this at all ponies in all of Ponyville, mud wrestling and selling tickets.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Of course, both of them are not happy about that, but seeing as it's the best option, they go with it, and hilarity ensues. As I said, it is more about Rarity and Fluttershy, but Applejack, of course, plays a pretty big role in it, and it's really enjoyable. So yeah, that's a good one. That's Mud, Sweat, and Tears by Hyper Exponential. So then I found one that was interesting. I wasn't amazed by it. Well, basically, I was going through the the Applejack stuff on FimFiction and found one with a cover photo that was an image that I really like and have in my looping pony backgrounds folder for my desktop. And the fic is called The Fires of Friendship, and apparently that image was made for this fic. So that just kind of caught my attention, and I read through it. Basically, the idea is that Applejack and Rarity used to be friends as fillies, like really close friends, but it kind of drifted apart, and then a specific traumatizing event kind of separated them until they came back together under, their friendship with Twilight Sparkle. And so it's them kind of dealing with that and, trying to become better friends again. And it's interesting. It's a pretty cool idea, and I enjoyed reading it. And it's not too long, so, it's definitely worth a read. That's The Fires of Friendship. This next one, oh no, sorry. Okay. I saw this title and knew I had to go for it. There is a fic called Applejack's Bar.
Yes, I'm familiar.
And I enjoyed this one. Basically, she puts in the paperwork to make a new barn, but there was a typo, and the end was left out. And so she has a permit to make a bar. And since the guy who's, Mayor is out of town, and the guy who's currently running it just doesn't like Applejack, so he refuses to cooperate, and the result is that he enforces that and says that she'll be in violation of contract if she doesn't actually build a bar within the next few days and run it until the mayor gets back and she can actually sort it out. So she does. And it's I feel like there could have been a bit more comedy than was actually used, but it's still a pretty fun idea, and there's a lot of fun stuff in the fic. So that's definitely a recommended one. It was pretty fun. And then this one, okay. That's the last one. This is the one I haven't finished yet. I'm just going to start this off saying that shipping Spike with any of the ponies is just kind of weird to me a bit. I mean, Rarity kind of makes sense. It's a little canonical. It's just kind of interspecies thing, I guess. I don't know. It seems strange to me. So when I saw...
Yeah, but you're a bigot.
Oh, yeah, I know. wait, I'm a what?
I was joking, like, well, that's because you're a bigot.
Oh, I thought you said that's just your opinion. And I'm like, well, yeah, and... but, you
No,
know...
it's because you're a bigot.
I'm okay with it. It's just... so when I saw a fic called Unintentionally Yours, a romance fic with, romance comedy and adventure, with, Applejack and Spike, I was more confused than anything, but decided, what the heck, I'll read it because that's interesting. It's a bit of a longer one, around 50,000 words, so I haven't quite finished it all yet. But at first, it wasn't really selling me on the idea. I mean, for something like that, you really gotta. That's two characters that I just wouldn't really put together. So you gotta sell me on that and convince me that it could actually work. And for a while, it wasn't really doing that. By the end of chapter 1, it was a bit. By chapter 2, it definitely has. I've actually, it took me a little while to get into it, but where I am right now, I've really been enjoying it. And it actually brings in some, I won't spoil anything, but it complicates things a good bit outside of it. It's not just a little slice of life romance. There's a bit more going on that complicates things, and it's actually pretty well.
Is there any of what I call the bullshit kind of drama, where it's like, dun-dun-dun drama, and you're just like, this could be solved in 5 goddamn seconds. Just explain things to each other!
No, not really. There was one moment kind of like that, but it wasn't this dull major conflict of the story or anything, and it was actually like it dealt with it from both their perspectives, and basically they both knew that it could have been solved easily. They were just afraid to.
Okay, that's good.
So,
I hate shit like...
What?
I hate shit like that so much.
Oh, yeah, no, it's really annoying. I just hate it when something like that happens and one of the characters just stays quiet the entire time. And I'm like, 5 words would fix this. Just something stupid.
Or the thing where someone comes in too early.
Yeah.
Like, they hear half of a conversation and go, and like run away dramatically, and you're just like, oh.
Oh, that is funny. Like, the big misunderstandings, that's hilarious.
Oh, it can be, but when it's played for drama, it can also, it can work, but it can also be kind of annoying.
Who was it? I can't remember who we had on. Paleo Prince. We actually had a huge conversation about that on our talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that just I've never liked that. It's just so uncomfortable, and so like, this doesn't. It's not even a good, well-written kind of uncomfortable like anthropology. It's just an annoying uncomfortable. Like, there is no reason this should be happening. Yeah. Your characters are dumb, and you should feel dumb.
Yeah, it can work if you do it right, but it's just generally a very bad idea. But yeah, this doesn't really have any of that in an offensive way. As far as I've gotten, at least. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet. But yeah, it's...
They're that terrible twist.
Assuming that M. Night Shyamalan doesn't take over writing for the last couple chapters or something, it should be fine. And
then everyone was played either by white people or people from India.
Oh boy, that'll be fun. But yeah, in any case, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I expected. So, that's Unintentionally Yours, and it's pretty good so far. Okay.
Mr. Tragedy, you got anything?
Sadly, I'm not reading anything. I'm more focused on writing at the moment, because I'm writing, 3-4 different stories, and I'm working on a side project that has nothing to do with ponies, and it's pretty much consuming all of my stuff, all my time.
Multitasking.
I feel for you, brother.
I'm writing a whole script for a web series, and that's taking up a lot of time.
Oh boy, yeah, it would.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So, before we wrap up this episode, got a couple things to talk about. First, if you guys want to send in a question, a comment, concern, criticism, if you'd like to tell us how much we suck, we do. So come on, send in those emails.
Yeah.
I'm waiting them all. Or if you'd like to help us with the show in some way. You might notice with this episode, I think a little bit with the last one, I figured out how to get rid of the dumb thing on YouTube where it sounded like shit. So, yeah, that's great. Sadly, I can't fix it on the past episodes because that means I have to delete the original video and and upload a different one, meaning all of your views and comments would be gone.
So correction, he could. Oh, no, wait, reviews and comments? Okay, yeah, never mind, that's bad. I was going to make a joke about you being lazy, but never mind.
No, I'm not a terrible person. So instead... I found a new hosting place, so audio files soon-ish should be all up on every episode, and they should all be working and sounding clear, so that's good. And I'll tell you, next week the point we'll be looking at is Fluttershy, and because of that we'll be looking at The Contest by Cold in Garden.
Is that the one, the world championship of being quiet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, we're doing that. So the ball will be in Sam's court next week. So,
Yay.
see you, Mr. Pony, next week. Thank you for being on, though, Tragedy.
No problem. And if you need me on any other main 6 ones, just don't put me on Twilight, or else you will hear me nothing but raging for.
Oh yeah, Sam.
60
Before we end
minutes.
this episode, she doesn't like Twilight.
I hate Twilight and Luna. Suck it.
But, aw.
Let's end the show there.
That means you
Bye,
hate me.
everybody.
Adios. Don't do drugs or work commitment, kids.
空は果てしない心の傾みだからね毎日色を変えてく映し出すように白く吐いた煙雲になってこぼれそうな涙隠していて信じる